I'm a healer.
Good boy. Come on, Ben. Come on, Ben.
Meet Stephen Turoff, a psychic surgeon.
Some call me God, some call me the devil. Churchmen walk up and down with placards. The devil, you pay £20, and he goes over there every night and gets drunk. I can't laugh.
He's one of Britain's most sought-after healers. Patients come from all over the world to see him. But in Stephen's world, strange things are happening, and it's creating tension at home.
I think they're disturbing. Very, very disturbing that something happened in there and they're disturbing. And they really are.
In other countries, he's hailed as a mystic. Some think he's a new messiah. If he is, I'm in good company. Stephen Turoff started out in life as a carpenter from the East End of London. He's just moved into a new house in the country, and when we first meet, he's taking delivery of some new leather sofas. He and his wife Kate met 23 years ago. They both had an interest in healing.
And this one says, do you think I'll ever marry again? And he said, yes, you'll marry me in 3 years' time. And this was a guy I didn't even know. Just went for a reading. And a year after that, we started to go out together. 2 years after that, we married. So that was, he said that was one of his predictions that went true. We often laugh about that now.
I'm in love, man. I'm just in love.
But there must be something else day to day. You can't think about God all the time.
I do.
What, every minute of the day?
Every minute of the day.
What, when you're cooking, when you're out buying a nice tie, driving along?
Yep.
Don't it get a bit sort of tiring, just thinking about God all the time?
No. It's the best drug in the world.
His clinic is in Chelmsford, just off the A12 behind a hotel. My first impression of Stephen is that he's quite a snappy dresser, perhaps not the image I was expecting. However, inside the clinic, suit and tie give way to working clothes. Have you always worn this?
No, I change different things. But I like to wear something that's very comfortable for me to wear. And, the colour is very energising. The most wonderful thing about this life, you can be anything you want without hurting anybody.
Good morning, can I help you? No.
The clinic is always full. On a typical day, up to 100 people come in search of treatment, and they come from all over the world. Each treatment lasts just a few minutes and costs £25.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have the time to come out to sort of make home or hospital visits.
The sign on the wall says he's not a doctor, despite the medical diagrams and surgical instruments on display. But if he's not a doctor, how does he know what to do?
What can I say? I'm putting my hands on this lady and transferring magnetism. This is what I'm doing. How do I know what I do? I've only done this 35 years, I still don't know what I'm doing.
I'll have to ask the patient what she's feeling.
It's a huge amount of energy that's coming through and very, very hot. Now Stephen's left hand is starting to sort of vibrate.
I can't diagnose and I certainly can't talk about a patient's conditions because I'm not a doctor. What do I know about them?
Can you look inside them? Can you see inside?
Yeah, cheese sandwich, isn't it?
Last night I had a cheese sandwich.
Kate gave up her job to help Stephen when the healing took off in a big way. Now she has to deal with patients who believe he can perform miracles.
Explain, fully what he does. He may not be able to help with complete and utter blindness. Please go back and stress that to the person. They've got a long way to come. They've got to come all the way from Turkey. Yes, OK, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, bye-bye.
Does that happen a lot?
Oh, yes. It certainly does. It's not easy sometimes going just from country to country, especially when they've got to get all the documentation to even get to England without coming here. And then they really honestly want a guarantee. The guy's completely blind and he wants to come here and he wants to be able to see when he goes home. You know, we can't say that. We can't guarantee anything like that at all. So I want them to be very clear, you know, exactly what they're coming to, and I don't want them to come have any false hope. So they'll have to go back and sort of check it out, and then we'll go further from there.
I've been coming since 2000. I was diagnosed with lung cancer of both lungs. Stephen took it away.
Took it away?
St Thomas's didn't quite know what was going on.
But were you having sort of normal conventional treatment as well, or...?
No, she just told me to go and have a good holiday and introduce me to the Macmillan nurse.
How are you?
Hey, look at me.
Great.
Muscles on top of muscles. How you doing, sweet? What's the matter with me?
If you hadn't come to see Stephen...
I'd have been dead. By Christmas 2000. I know so, yeah. How would you feel with two great... This was a big tumour. I saw Stephen allowed me to see this come out. This was big. And that hurt like hell when he did it, so... No.
So when you say see it come out, what actually happened?
Well, he usually blocks. If there's anything too violent, he blocks you from seeing, but he allowed me to see this, and I saw him cut and turn over the skin, and then he clipped out 2 ribs and put them on my tummy, and then he put his hand in and he dished out, and it was like black semolina. Scar goes in 24 hours.
Seems impossible.
Exactly. And I was scared stiff when I came because I didn't know what was going to go on. I'm in surgery. I've never had an opera before.
It's an amazing and improbable story, but it's not the only one.
Basically, I was given 12 months to live by the oncologist at Southampton Hospital, and basically it was 12 months last April, and I'm still alive now, and it's virtually gone.
How do you know that isn't the sort of conventional treatment?
Will be very unusual for it to be the conventional treatment.
As far as you're concerned, he's not cured you, but he's curing you.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
What's your oncologist say about that?
He doesn't know.
You're not inclined to tell him?
No.
So how does he explain the fact that your tumours are...
He's amazed by the results, and the scan keeps improving and everything like that. So he's very amazed.
What does he put it down to?
He puts it down to the chemotherapy.
I say to someone, look, come along, have a couple of goes. You know, it's not expensive. It's a little bit of time. It may do something for you, it may not. I don't know. You know, if it works, I'm very happy for you. If it doesn't work, I'm still very happy for you.
But if people can be treated and cured successfully by you of cancer, which is a very serious illness, don't you think that some of the doctors and oncologists that are treating this all over the country would be very interested in that? Because, you know, they're using a lot of very invasive treatments for these people, and if it could save them having that, that would be a good thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but you see...
I mean, why don't they come and why don't they come and watch you, what you do, and talk to you? And
Well, unfortunately, they see work like myself and many others as charlatans, as placebos, as it doesn't work, you know.
Stephen thinks his work will be dismissed by the medical profession, but I'm more open-minded. I've come to the Hammersmith Hospital in London to see cancer specialist Jonathan Waxman.
Hello, nice to meet you. How do you do? Do you want to
I want to show him a recording of Stephen's patients.
How would you feel with 2 great... This was a big tumour. I saw Stephen allowed me to see this come out. This was big. And that hurt like hell when he did it, so...
You were asking me, well, what do I think of the films I've seen? Well, I feel, firstly, that I haven't been allowed to see the patient's records, so I can't actually comment as to whether or not the person had cancer. You asked me about the so-called operative procedure that she had carried out. Well, wounds have no scars. I would like to know that there weren't sort of spare ribs from somebody's Chinese meal chucked in a bin. I'm reminded of the Philippine psychic surgeons that have been so exposed over recent times. I think, you know, patients have a need. They see that the conventional treatments may not work, and it's their desperation with the convention that makes them move into alternative circles to find the possibility of cure.
Now, if you knew that there was a healer working in a clinic in Chelmsford that was, according to the patients, curing them of cancer, would you not want to beat a path to his door?
We'd like to know what the cancer was that was cured. We would like to see what the healer was doing. We'd like to look at the cases and to review the evidence.
That could take some time, couldn't it? Because you'd have to go through all their clinical history. And...
Yeah, but curing cancer is something that's worthwhile. It's a big project, so if it takes some time, who cares? It's important to make sure that it's right.
Professor Waxman's interest is encouraging. So, it's back to Chelmsford to see if I can persuade Stephen the healer to meet Jonathan, the cancer specialist. If I brought to you, a medical person, to have a look at what you do, that you could share some sort of thoughts about each other's work, and it might be very useful, but you didn't seem very open to that.
It doesn't go that way. It doesn't work that way with that profession.
But when I said to you, could I bring somebody to have a look at what you do, you said no.
Well, I really don't want to go down that street. I don't find I want to do that.
There's got to be a reason why.
Yeah. The simple reason is I don't want to do it. That's a simple reason.
Nothing more than that?
No, nothing to hide, nothing that I don't feel about my work, nothing. And if you think it's because I have something to hide, you're totally, absolutely wrong.
I didn't say that.
No, but just make that quite clear to you.
But did I say that?
You didn't have to.
Well, did you think that?
Well, I think it crossed your mind.
I'm only doing it for good reasons.
No, I don't.
You understand that, don't you?
Yeah, I'm sure whatever reasons you have, you tell me is good, and I accept your word. Why shouldn't I? I'm just at an age and a point of my career, whatever you want to tell me, I don't need it.
So that's a no then?
What's a no?
Me bringing somebody to talk to you?
Yeah.
23rd and 24th of May.
Stephen says his healing power comes directly from God. He believes one manifestation of this is shown in the many extraordinary photographs that cover the walls of the clinic. And there are other revelations too.
Room 1, there was a patient on the bed. I had this white towel over the patient. Started working and I noticed the room turning pink. So I'll come outside. I've got Carol. I said, can you come in, Carol? Carol, can you just come and confirm this?
What about a towel in room 1?
Yeah.
You've heard this before, Carol?
No, she was there. I called Carol in. I said, I asked her, what can you see? And all the room was turning pink, wasn't it?
All turned pink, yeah, and all the towel went pink.
And when Carol went out, I started working again, and the Divine Mother appeared. I was really shocked. And then she just looked at the patient. She put her hand onto the towel on the patient, looked at me, said a few words to me and disappeared. When I looked, a handprint in pink was still on the towel. I come running out to show people. Absolutely unbelievable.
Now, why is that going on?
Don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
But somewhere, there's the pink. If you hold it up to the light, you can see a hand print. You'll have to come round to the light. You see it?
Well, it looks pink.
It's an handprint. Remember.
So whose hand is that?
The Divine Mother.
What, Jesus' mother?
Yeah. And
But we're in the middle of Chelmsford.
I don't care where we are. It's faded up now. Look, you see? But you can see it all turn pink.
I can see the pink. I'm not sure I can see the hand.
Well, maybe you know you've got to use a bit more intuition.
Why is all this happening to you?
Why not?
Well, it doesn't happen to me.
Well, how do you know?
Well, I've never had the Divine Mother's handprint on any of my towels. I'm a bit out of my depth here. Kate says she's never witnessed any of these events, and I'm beginning to realise that for her, it's a difficult subject.
perhaps in hindsight, the work now is possibly a lot different to what it was when I first met Stephen, and perhaps in lots of instances I find it difficult to cope and to even see Stephen in some of the aspects now to what he was 25 years ago.
God, isn't it?
What, living with God?
Must be very
Yes, I think so, don't you?
Now, what's it like living with God?
I've never looked upon it like that, actually.
Well, maybe you should. Maybe that's where you're going wrong.
And perhaps in the early days, how Stephen portrayed himself in the early days was perhaps more than I could perhaps accept. Things have changed, things move on.
Shall I show you
Perhaps
these
I haven't
photos
moved
where-
on in the same way Stephen
Where the
has.
figure of Mary appears on my head. Can I show you these?
Have you shown Kate this?
Yes, Kate knows it's seen this.
Can you show it to the camera?
Yeah. First of all, little figure of Mary appears on my head.
Yeah, man.
You got it?
Yeah, got it.
And we blew it up. Not literally, but I mean, and you can see a little figure of Mary.
Blew up Mary.
So what do you make of that, Kate?
I don't know. I don't really know. Do I, Stephen?
No, you don't know, dear.
I don't know. I do find it hard because there's the Stephen I know, and all of a sudden there's the Stephen on the photographs. I find it hard.
Kate may feel confused about what is happening to Stephen, but in other countries, there's a ready audience. In Slovenia, Stephen is welcomed as a healer and revered as a holy man who has come to spread the word of God. His Slovenian business associate Breda handles the bookings for the healing trips. Over the next 5 days, he'll see over 300 people for individual healing. But first, there is another item on the agenda. Since his first visit to Slovenia, Stephen's been having visions that he lived here 1700 years ago as a monk in a cave.
I had this sort of realisation, if you like, that I seem to be this figure, this young monk. And I had such a magnetic drawing to this place. But I've never been there. It was like, I've got to go there. I'm going home.
Breda believes she has located the exact cave seen in Stephen's visions.
It's very important that I go into the cave with no clothes or no jewellery or anything.
Well, you're going to go in naked?
With a sheet over me, yeah, a sheet. It's very important.
Why?
It's symbolic.
I'm sure the symbolism will become clear later, but first, a bit of improvisation with a pair of scissors and a white sheet.
Oh, beautiful body.
Yes, 9 kilos lighter.
Wow.
He was expecting only a handful of people, but Breda has spread the word that a great healer is coming, and hundreds have turned up. He told me he's going to bless a cave.
Yes, that's
Where
right.
he lived in 284 AD
Yes,
and lost his head.
yes.
That's what he told me.
Yes, I know he's told me to.
You are born in this world
Rojeni ste bili v ta svet
with no clothes.
brez oblačil.
You will go out of this world.
Tudi zapustili ga
With no
boste
clothes.
brez obleke.
The only thing you have is your love for God.
I know it's just him. I just can't get my head around it. If I couldn't go, let's put it like that, I'd never go to Slovenia.
I've been told that during the Second World War, resistance fighters were executed here. Stephen says he's come to cleanse the cave of evil spirits. It's a kind of exorcism. At the start, Stephen tells me not to come in with my camera. Apparently, his energy field might be too much for me to bear.
Please, you can come down.
The cave contains a centuries-old church run by the Knights Templar.
Did you see?
Suddenly, a picture of Christ falls off the wall.
Do you think it happened for no reason?
Mislite, da se karkoli zgodi brez razloga?
The beloved is with us.
Ljubljen je z nami.
I'm really not sure what to make of this.
Telesa so ozdravljena.
Stephen's a healer, but in this cathedral-like cave, he appears more like a priest, with 1,000 people hanging on his every word.
When God sends one such as me,
Ko Bog pošlje nekoga kot sem jaz,
they bring the truth.
da prinese resnico.
The whole event has been quite extraordinary, but Breda has no doubt what its significance is.
If you ask me, he's in the first place a saint. He is, I don't know, one of maybe very, very few people who have Christ consciousness. So, if you challenged me, if Christ consciousness dwells in a human body, then this human body is Christ.
Stephen Turoff is Christ?
If you ask me, that's my opinion. I mean,
The next day, and more strange photographs turn up.
Here. That was a cross which was standing in front of Stephen, and you can see a face appear.
Oh, that's spooky. Whose face is that?
Well, it's either Jesus or Mary.
Previous, look, his face have tears like...
Tears of the Christ, these are.
The next image is very odd.
It's transfiguration.
Yeah.
It's the same as when Jesus transfigures me. It's the same thing here, but one of the reasons I went into the cave is to release the evil that was there.
But do you think it is the devil?
Maybe not the devil as you understand the devil. I believe it's a very negative force in there.
Negative.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to get carried away with their interpretation of these images. Gone are the days when we thought the camera couldn't lie. Within days, Breda has posted the photos on the internet, along with a text describing what happened. There's talk about the fight between good and evil, and the devil taking hold of Stephen's body, and even a picture showing what they claim is the Christ child in his arms. When I was in the cave, I didn't feel any evil forces or witness unusual phenomena. A few weeks later, I'm back in Chelmsford, and it's my first opportunity to talk to Stephen and Kate about the events in Slovenia. Now, if I didn't know you, and I just walked in off the street into that cave, I might have thought that I was witnessing a religious leader, a new Messiah, the second coming. You were preaching to them.
No, I don't preach to anyone.
Well, you were.
No, that's your...
Well, that's what it felt like.
No, that's you. I don't preach to anybody.
You stood up, there were 1,000 people there, and you were preaching to them.
No, I don't preach to anybody.
Well, what was your message?
I'm telling them why I'm there.
Well, you're doing more than that.
I don't remember saying more than that.
Do you not remember what you said?
No. Are you ready to say yes to God?
Ste pripravljeni Bogu reči da?
Amen.
Amen.
What about the photos? Can we talk about the photos in Slovenia?
All I have to say about any of the photographs that are taken or taken of me, as far as I know and I'm aware, is that they're 101% genuine. They're not top doctored, they're not forced. Why should they be?
But they say extraordinary things, don't they?
Hmm? Yeah, they do say extraordinary things.
And I've just got to accept that that's what they are.
Well, why not? Why can't you just have a little bit of an open mind and say, oh, is this possible? These photographs are taken by normal people. And you know, they don't know, some of them don't know me. The ones in the cave, the person who took them knew me, yeah, but they're just a normal little camera.
I mean, sometimes it's shown not very nice things.
No, only once it's shown not very nice things. That was the manifestation of the evil energy or the negative energy in the cave. But then after that, it did show Jesus, it showed the birth of what I call the birth of Jesus. So I think there was enough evidence of what manifested there.
And when you come back to see Kate, because she wasn't with you, do you talk, I mean, you're talking to me, but do you talk about these things?
Not all the time, no.
But a bit?
Yeah, sometimes if she's interested.
Yeah. Because I'm just trying to imagine myself. I probably, I don't know how I...
Maybe I've just learned to keep quiet and only speak about it to people of like-mindedness.
Which doesn't include me. Can I excuse me so I can go to the loo, please? I want to go to Sephen.
No, because you get someone...
Because basically, at the end of the day, I think they're disturbing. Very, very disturbing that something happened in there and they're disturbing. And you know, they really are.
And this is your husband?
Yes, yes, and it's disturbing. It really is to see something actually transfigure and come over like that. I mean, 23 years I've been with him, I've seen transfigurations of all sorts that have come over him, but I've never seen anything of that magnitude, and it is very, very disturbing. And he doesn't wish to discuss it with me, he wishes to discuss it with his like-minded people. Stephen's philosophy, in lots of ways, is very deep, sort of mystic, as well as sort of the philosophy of the healing. And I can't understand. Perhaps I'm not ready. Perhaps I don't want to know. Perhaps I'd rather go and feel nearer to God in my garden than to actually sit and listen to all this. Because at the end of the day, I think if you lead a good life, try not to do anything bad to anybody else. And I think that's basically, that's my philosophy. That's literally all that you need.